I started this channel several weeks ago, spawned from just wanting to flex a little creativity. I saw musings and a little entertainment in bringing some memes to life. Memes that people were posting about the Doomer guy and some obese girl. The theme, to me, felt about a guy who had just given in. That though he probably possessed many good qualities, intelligent, kind, funny, he essentially felt unwanted in this world and had given in. And he had decided that it was better to be in some baseless relationship with some woman he didn't feel attracted to in the slightest, rather than being completely alone. These memes are somewhat amusing to say the least, but I think there's something deeper going on. They represent a fear and a worry that men all over the world are beginning to feel. But I feel these memes are quite healthy. They allow men to poke fun and joke about the current situation, which is a good thing. It's a good sign, because the sad truth is 80 to 90% of men are mostly feeling disenfranchised by women who essentially don't really want them. As women now, through the power of technology, have access to what they perceive as the most desirable. And this is essentially wealthy and, to a degree, attractive, but not so much. People naturally and understandably look out for their best interest, and women perceive that men like this is in their best interest. So, they will only pursue men like this. More than 95% of the women are pursuing a man like this, and feel that they can obtain a man like this. And the common theme now is many women waiting years and years till they get into their mid to late 30s until they realise they cannot obtain this man. This man does not want to be in a relationship. They might have slept with a man like this, but they cannot have him. So reality hits. They realise that Over is about to quit on them, and then they get with someone who they probably resent and perceive to be a beater, but that's the best they can do. But it's actually probably who they should be with. Anyway, that's another issue to go into maybe another day. But the sad and depressing truth is, this is the current situation of the ecosystem of dating in the Western world. And as globalisation continues, will probably become the status quo for humanity. Fantastic. The internet changed everything, and that applies to human relationships. Meeting your sweetheart and getting married at 21 and spending a long happy life together, that's a relic of the past, and I think you have to accept that. The future is going to be a lot more individualistic and lonely. Millions and millions of people looking at their phones at what they want, but never actually getting it, as they'll never commit, as they feel like something always better might be one swipe away. It's sad because we're all going to lose out. So the question that I ask myself is, in this dystopia, how do I make a difference? Well, I feel in this not so brave new world, men are beginning to feel very lost. I speak more to young men. And that if men are going to prosper again, we need to somehow rewrite the playbook. And of course I don't mean all men. Some men are doing absolutely fine. Some don't think of issues so deeply. But I'm now speaking more to the forgotten thinkers. The ones that feel that, though they do all the right things and do what society tells them to do, they don't feel fulfilled in the way that the Disney movies promised them they would be. There is a lot of self-loathing going on, and a lot of misery because of it. And we need to stop it. In this not-so-brave new world, there is a lot of entitlement. Because we have shelter, food, entertainment, we feel like we should have everything. A loving relationship. But these are not forged easily. Most now, male and female, do not actually possess the skills to create one. Too much time on our phones has stopped most of us knowing how to really communicate. Deeply, humanly. Skills that were once natural and second nature have been nullified due to heavy exposure to screens, social media apps, and pornography. So, where do I come in? How do I help? I have decided that this channel will be for the disenfranchised. People that feel they don't harmonise with this modern world, looking for a voice of guidance, maybe a hand to help them through. Where this hand will precisely lead, I do not yet know, but know that there is a hand there, offered out to you. Know that you are not alone. And just a little side note here about my content. I will post shorts. They're good for the algorithm, hopefully bring in new viewership. But never take them literally. They will be the more entertainment side of the channel. At times provocative, sometimes funny, but not literal. Don't take them seriously. It's the longer format material like this that I'm being more serious. And for the most part, I want this channel to be a positive place. To a degree, we could categorise it as a self-help channel, I hope. The last thing I want is this to be a place to wallow. I want to offer guidance and support and hope, and build a community of people that together we can figure this out. We cannot live with our heads down. There is an amazing world out there, and so many are missing so much because they concentrate on what they don't have. Let's begin to practice some gratitude for what we do. Anyway, there's going to be a lot to discuss in the coming months, maybe years. Let's just see how the channel goes. So today I want to talk about a tool, a technique that people might be able to use, something applicable on the dating scene. The concept is teasing. Now, in today's world, there is nothing more mundane to a woman than a compliment. Think about it. Any girl with a social media presence will be inundated with hundreds of messages daily, compliments galore. They'll be saturated in them. So, in today's world, this does not intrigue or attract the ladies. Because what is for free, people do not care or want. In order to arouse the interest these days, we must do something, and it's called teasing. Now, the truth is, in recent times, men have become very bad at flirting. One of the reasons is the lack of good male role models. Another is some very powerful segments of society in today's world have become good at convincing young men that somehow they are bad or corrupt to want to form intimate relationships with women. Wanting something that is so fundamental to being a man and is the reason for existence. And the truth is, men need to stop bending the knee to what certain segments of society said they should be. They want men to be weak and malleable. They have been very successful at convincing men there is something inherently wrong about them. It's okay to want a woman. In fact, you should want it, because your future happiness, to a degree, relies upon it. Now, here is a difficult truth that we as a society must accept. Men need women. It's bred into us. Evolution did it. We protected the women, then mated with them, to ensure the survival of the human race. That was our purpose, and that is still in your DNA. And the sad truth is, women don't need men. They want security. They need security. To raise a child, that is their fundamental purpose. And they don't mind where it comes from. And modern society has created a world where they have that security. So, now we live in a world where women don't need men. And men's purpose in it has been greatly diminished. And we need to address this. Great swathes of the male population in today's world, in this not-so-brave world, as I'll continue to say, are feeling completely unwanted, disenfranchised, not needed. This is alarming and worrying, and we have to wonder, where will this all lead if we do not do something about it? And the truth is, there has been a brainwash going on. Men have been convinced to be passive. So I say to you, stop drifting with time and space and letting life just go by. Begin to swim with it. Move. Be proactive. And you'll get further. Let me talk more about teasing. Life tries to tell us, just be a good citizen and you'll get your just reward. That's what they want you to think. The owners of business, the owners of this world, want people to think that. Keep your head down, work hard, and everything will be okay. You might even do well. What a load of rubbish. I mean, just think about it objectively. Keep your head down and work hard for me while I pay you as little as I can. And just continue and you might get somewhere. What a load of rubbish. And the haves have purported this lie to the have-nots for decades, centuries. It's wow. Obviously they want you to think this way because they don't want you to challenge them. Life doesn't work like this. To get somewhere in life, you have to do something different. And this applies everywhere, when it comes to work or when it comes to dating. Now, the word that people used to use, maybe some do still, flirting. But I don't like that word. It sounds difficult, confusing, contradictory, and in today's world, probably dangerous. Make that wrong step with that wrong person, and it can be lights out for a man. His career and livelihood, essentially his life, can be over just like that. The tables have turned for sure, but badly. And I say badly because we didn't get close to any equality or equilibrium. In a world where men had too much power, we just gave all that power to the women. So my advice would be to stay away from flirting and whatever you perceive that to be. Some woman could easily take advantage of anything you've done to make herself feel special for a moment. Cruel. What is much safer is teasing. Some are naturally going to be much better at this than others, but essentially, we must never give a woman completely what she wants. And what she wants is the compliment. She wants to know that she is desired. Evolution has designed her that way. The more desirable she is, the more she should be able to pick a better mate. It's evolved into her. This is so intrinsic in women as much as it is for a man to have sexual intercourse. It's the equivalent. This is her everything, knowing that she is desired. So what we must do is not play our card. Because soon as you play your card, she has won the game and she will move on to the next person to play it with. You conceal your card and keep her at the table, if we're using poker as an analogy. Keep her in the game with you for as long as possible. What are we doing? We are teasing the idea of the compliment. For most men, they'll just play their card the second she asks for it. Even before that sometimes, before they've just seen her, they'll show her the cards, and she will be completely disinterested in them. This is our first understanding of teasing. Feel free to pause the video for a second and just meditate on that a little bit. To tease, not to give too much away too quickly. Now the truth is, in nearly all cases, men are going to have to approach the women first. Only in exceptionally rare cases would a woman approach a man first in today's modern world. Back in the 90s and stuff, women used to have to put a bit of effort in the fear that someone might get to a desirable man before them. But now they can just sit back and let technology do all the legwork for them. They just sit back and watch the CVs come in. So when it comes to demonstrating ourselves, it can be kind of counterintuitive, this teasing idea. We must show ourselves, but at the same time be elusive, which is a very difficult thing. We must not overtly pursue somebody, but at the same time, we do need to be on show. Another way to put it is, We must always prevent ourselves from chasing, because what is the definition of a chase? It's somebody running away. And the harder you begin to chase, the faster they will begin to run. And some, honestly, just like to see men sweat. Remember, we need to get them to begin to chase us, and we do that through teasing. So begin to tease your life. Show what you are doing, how you are happy, how you are self-satisfied upon your social media platforms. But you have to get it right. As Stephen King said in his book on writing, don't tell, show. You have to get that fine line right. We're not bragging, we're not gloating. We're simply showing the life of a happy, self-satisfied man or person. And at first, this might be a bit of a fiction for some of us, but you need to write that narrative of where you want to head. Because here is the truth that many won't want to accept. Romance is dead. We don't live in the human age anymore. We live in the technological age. We rely on facts and figures, and as I alluded to just several sentences ago, women now sit back and watch them CVs come in, or resume if you're American. And the ones that don't meet that right criteria from the beginning just go straight into the bin. Which is sad and unfortunate, because women are the ones who want the Romeos, they want the romance. As they won't let most of them men get past the first hurdle. And soon they become addicted to the idea of the amount of men who would want to date them, rather than actually wanting to go on the date. They become almost addicted to this almost quantifiable metric of their desirability, something that used to be very elusive and hard to define, but in the modern age they can almost see it and feel it, measure it. And a lot of women are now more in love with that than the idea of falling in love. And many allow it to go to their heads and begin to believe they're very special, when the hard truth is, unless you are very physically unattractive, you're going to receive a lot of messages, so don't let it turn you into a monster. Now men, not all is lost. People have been lying on CVs and resumes for years, but we're not going to do that. We can always embellish and improve them, can't we? Now, consider this. If you want a nice lady, woman, who takes nice walks in the countryside and lives a nice, simple life, why would you post pictures of you getting drunk with the lads? No, we shouldn't do that. But I bet many of you have. We have to demonstrate and mirror the virtues and values of someone that we want to attract. That's a very simple notion, but one that many forget and miss. So, now let's imagine you have actually been able to start a conversation with someone online. Now, the first things first, never reply too quickly. It looks desperate, shows a lack of control, suggests you don't have much of a life or something going on. No. Mirror is not a bad idea, to mirror the amount of time that they send back, but if they're quick to send messages, leave it an hour plus at least before messaging back. Again, it's that concept. Teasing even with our time. You know what? I'm going to leave this video for now, I think. This teasing concept. All I hope is that I've offered a little bit of advice to people that maybe feel completely out of ideas in this environment. This video has been a little bit of an experiment for me, and I just want to see how it goes. So if you have found anything interesting in here whatsoever, please let me know. Give me a like, a subscribe. Just lets me know that I'm doing something of value. And so, I have been the Forgotten Thinker, and till the next discussion, thank you very much.